things and I wish I hadn't. It happens every day, in big and small ways. All I want to do is go back in time and change my life. My book is about my strengths, my abilities, and my dreams. I have this book so I can have a better understanding of who I am.
There's information about the disability and what parts they're affected by.
It has definitely given me tools to help other youth in my home.
It's great. It's really good. It's almost like condensed FASD training, right? It's perfect.
That sort of back and forth conversation on paper is huge, and it's a skill that many of them do not have.
It's a way to start a more positive relationship with the youth.
I've had the opportunity to look at a number of the books that have been developed. They're all different, they're all individual, and what's so exciting about them is that questions are being asked of these youth that have never been asked before.
Typically, the way that the justice world works is that when you get a new youth in the system and he's been with you for a while, we get these files, and they're full of the negatives. They're full of incident reports, what they've done wrong, what's gone wrong, what hasn't worked with them. And even in their school files, it's the same kind of information. You know, they're non-compliant, they're challenging, they're just not fitting in.
My name is Carol Robson, and I'm the FASD and Special Needs Coordinator for Manitoba Corrections. And I'm really excited to talk about the life book, This Is Me. It's something that I think has been missing in the work that we do with children and youth with FASD. I guess what really shocked me was when we started the FASD Youth Justice Program, and we started identifying youth who had previously not been identified in the school system as youth with a disability. I had felt that once they had had the diagnosis and they understood that they had a disability, that this would help them in how they saw the world and how they communicated with others, that they would have an understanding of why things were the way they were. But what we saw was that these children often saw the diagnosis as confirming that they were just as they had been labeled, which were children with deficits or children who didn't fit in. So rather than being helpful to them, it seemed to confirm in their mind that the labels that had been put on them were accurate labels, and it certainly didn't do anything for their self-confidence.
It's actually getting down and seeing what they do, being able to translate this into a book with pictures and words and their thoughts, which I think is just so very important. And the variety of books speaks to the variety of the young people that come through our program. No child with FASD is the same as any other. That has to do with the different areas of their brains that are impacted and the different domains. But their books reflect that, and they gain confidence as they develop the book and they see the respect that they get from, well, of course from Dee, but also from the people that they work with at the youth center. I think it's a huge contribution, and every child that comes to our program should have the opportunity to do one.
So the way I start making a book with the youth is after they've received a diagnosis, I sit down with them usually within that first week, and I ask them, are you interested in learning more about, you know, what happened, you know, when you saw the doctors? Do you want to understand yourself in a better light, in a different way? And do you want the people that you live and work with, do you want them to see you in a better way? And then I explain to them, I make these books called This Is Me, and then their name is at the bottom, My Life Book.
How I learn best. My brain works better if there isn't too much talking. I can't concentrate if there are people talking around me. I get frustrated too. I can learn better if you show me what to do while you are talking. If I have to learn something new, like a major room cleanup, I have to do it several times and watch others before I can do it on my own.
These youth come back to the unit after spending some time with Dee, and they are so excited and they're so proud of the books that they've created. And I often ask Dee, how do you get all of this information? Because she can come back after spending an hour with the youth and she gathers more information than we can in like weeks of working with the youth. And I've learned so much about a youth in such a short period of time by picking up one of these books, and I find out what their dreams are, what makes them angry, how we can help calm them when they are upset, and what their interests are, what their strengths are. And the information that we have, like I said earlier, we can't seem to get that in the day-to-day working with the youth. We've been able to de-escalate situations with youth when they're upset because of the tool that Dee has provided us with.
I ask them, how do you learn? How do you learn best? Whether it's in sitting in class, or if you have to learn something new at home, or new rules in different places that you go, what do you need? What do you need for yourself? What do you need other people to give you? And then we talk about strengths and abilities. And when we start talking about those, they have a hard time because they might only give you one or two things that they think they're good at. But through our conversations, you can point out, wow, you really love your family, you care about them, you protect them. Oh, you've had a job, what did you do in that job? Or volunteer. And then you start pointing out all these strengths and abilities that they have, and they have these aha moments like, oh, I can do those things, those are good. You want to know? Okay, so they keep telling more.
I think the book has helped me. Since the book, I stopped doing bad things I was doing. I don't even get high anymore. I lost that feeling. I stay home more. It's weird.
There are some pages that make me feel happy and I laugh. I think the book has helped me.
If the youth wants, we make schedules. One of our guys likes to have his day broken into 15-minute segments. From the moment he gets up to the moment he goes to bed, it has to be every 15 minutes. So we make the schedule, 8 o'clock, staff wake me up, I take my shower, and I get dressed, I have breakfast. So there's the time, there's the activity, and then we put pictures in with it. Because sometimes, they can't read the words, but they see the picture and that's the cue, that's the visual prompt for them.
Despite the fact that we can have clinicians explain the different impairments and areas of the brain that are impacted, it's actually getting down and seeing what they do. Being able to translate this into a book with pictures and words and their thoughts.
So with the book, it just helped me really learn about the strengths about this particular youth, and the key was how to approach things with him. How to speak with him, what tends to aggravate him when you're expecting something of him, and so the book really laid that out for me.
What I've done with some of the books is I've printed off the pages that apply to education, and I put them in their school file so I can refer to them. So it's really helpful in getting to know the kid quickly.
When we first met, we used it as an introduction tool, actually, and getting to know each other. I read a few of the pages and we'd talk about it, and she'd give examples of things that bothered her or where she might get angry, and it was a great tool to start with.
I think it's really neat because it's a really interesting tool for the individual, and I just find that it's a very fun way sort of for the individual to understand more about themselves.
I've had all the staff say to me that by reading the book, it's helped them to better understand Justin and Justin's challenges.
It was a great tool. It was fun to do because the kid has full capabilities of being creative with it, so the pages look like anything they want it to look like. We can do pages about anything that they want to do. It also gives them a sense of control, and a lot of the times, especially kids in care with FAS, don't have that control.
When you see the impact that sharing the book with their caregivers or teachers or whoever, it is empowering for them to recognize that they do have something to offer and that they are important, and that they have something to offer maybe other people don't, and that they can share that with people that are important to them. I think it really is something that's been missing for years and years since this disability was first named in 1973.